Hi, this is for my biology students, and that's really important to make sure. Did you click on the right link on YouTube? So often, the last couple of years, I've had students click on PS if they're in biology, and I've had my physical science students click on BIO. Make sure you've clicked on the right video for your class. So you should have clicked BIO 1.1. That means we're in Chapter 1, Section 1. I am redoing some of the videos from last year because either there was poor sound quality, as in the case with the former Bio 1.1, or I just felt it could be better, and some of my videos for some reason were fuzzy. So if you ever notice an issue with one of the videos, please bring it to my attention so that I may fix it for you. Also, my notes and my flipped classroom are done a little bit differently than what you may have been used to in the past from my class or another class. This school year, I am not collecting your notes. I'm not grading your notes. Your notes are what your parents and I did in school. We sat there for 45 minutes and were bored out of our mind listening to a teacher read something from a book or from in front of the room. I don't do that. I give you a video lesson, which is my version of a lecture, and it lasts no longer than 15 minutes. It'll never be longer than 15 minutes. So that's the good news. Some of my videos, I just finished one that was 4.5 minutes long. So pretty easy homework. In your class this year, you will be given a note packet of all the sections, and the videos are broken down by section. So this first one, 1.1, is Chapter 1, Section 1. You fill in the blanks. And again, these notes are for you. I'm not grading your notes. Now, I should let you know, you will be getting a pop quiz 1 to 3 times a week. It's typically only one question, and I will allow you to use your note packet for a majority of your quizzes. When I say a majority, I'm going to say most of them, like 98, 99% of the pop quizzes you will have will be directly from your notes and or video. So you may use them. Also, you'll see all kinds of blank spaces in the margins, maybe even a part where there's just a whole page you can write on. Write on it. If there's something we discuss in class, write on it. I'll let you use it. I'm not going to say anything because I feel like if you're writing it down, you are seeing it, your mind is going to remember it, and it will help you later for the big test. Okay. Also, if you have questions, this isn't the only place you learn. This is just the foundation. This is just laying down the foundations, opening a book, so to speak. If you have a question or you're not understanding something, please write it down on your notes, highlight it so you don't forget it, and let's address it in class the next time we see each other. Okay? So, Section 1, Introduction to Biology. The main idea of this section is all living things share the characteristics of life. Your quizzes and your tests will be based on the essential questions to each section. What is biology? What are possible benefits of studying biology? And what are the characteristics of living things? If you've not had me in class before, you may not know that I really don't care that you know the answer. I don't care if you told me yes or no. I mean, obviously, I care, right? But if the answer is yes, I want you to be able to tell me, why do you know it's yes? Okay? And, okay, well, now that you've told me why you know it's yes, can you substantiate that? Can you support that with at least 1 or 2 pieces of evidence? So I don't want to know the answer or the why. I want to know the why to the why to the why, or what is affectionately known by my graduating students as y to the 3rd power. Biology comes from the Greek bio, meaning life, and from logos, meaning study. Study the origins and history of life and once living things. Study the structures of living things, how living things interact with one another, and how living things function. Biologists study the diversity of life, research diseases, develop technologies, improve agriculture, and preserve the environment. There are 8 characteristics of life. You'll need to know them all. Made of 1 or more cells, displays organization, grows and develops, reproduces, responds to stimulus, requires energy, maintains homeostasis, and adapts, and evolves over time. An organism is anything that has or once had all these characteristics. So let's break it down. Made of one or more cells. That means cells are the basic unit of structure and function in all living things. And living things can be two different things. They can be either unicellular, meaning one cell, or multicellular, like you and me, many cells. Displaying organization, there's a few points to this. Living things display organization, which means they're arranged in an orderly way. Single cells contain organized functional structures, and multicellular has these three specific notes. Specialized cells organized into tissues, tissues are organized into organs, and organ systems work together to support an organism. If you guys remember our graduating class last year, they would always say cell, tissue, tissue, organ, organ system. What? Okay, they had a whole little saying. It was a lot of fun. Growing and developing, most organisms begin as a single cell, and the addition of mass to an organism, often in the form of new cells and structures, is called growth. You're not the same size you are today that you were yesterday when you were an infant. The process of natural changes over the lifetime of an organism is called development. Reproduction equals the production of offspring. I and my husband have 4 children. They are our offspring. Organisms that can breed with one another and produce fertile offspring are known as a species, and production is not essential for the survival of an individual, but it is essential for the continuation of said species. Anything that is part of the internal or external environments and causes a reaction by the organism is called a stimulus. The reaction to a stimulus is a response. Dogs afraid of cats. Here's a great example. This is going to be our stimulus, and the dog will be the response. Come on, Charlie, let's go. Come on. Come on, boy. Come on. You could do it. Come on, you could do it. Yes, you can. Come on. One step at a time. Yeah, come on. There you go. Be very... Uh-oh, Fluffy. Requiring energy. Living things get their energy from food. Most plants and some unicellular, single one-cell organisms use light energy from the sun to make their own food. Organisms that cannot make their own food, like you and me, get our energy by consuming other organisms, be it plant or animal. Maintaining homeostasis is the regulation of an organism's internal conditions to maintain life. If anything happens within or to an organism that affects its normal state, processes to restore the normal state will begin. An adaptation is an inherited characteristic that results from changes to a species over time. Adaptations enable species to survive and pass on their genes to the next generation. Ever heard of survival of the fittest? And they are usually developed in response to an environmental factor.